Is it my first class with all of you?
Good
Uh,
morning, sir.
yeah, good morning. So, is it the first class with me, or I have
Yes,
taken?
yes, sir. First class.
Okay, okay. So I think Devi Prasad sir was taking the classes, right? Before me.
Yes,
Okay, so I think he is not feeling well, so he told me to take classes. So I will be taking classes now. So what was going? So what did you do in the last class?
sir. Vertex coloring and upper bound.
Okay, so you have gone till that. So actually, I will start with some basics. Then I will go to the coloring also. Hmm, okay. So all, can you see the screen? This black screen, I mean. So I'm writing graph theory. So can you all see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So to start with, so first I would like to start with the basic thing, very basic. So you might have done in the first class of this course. Then I will, after introduction, I will come to the chapter 5, uh, that is coloring of graph, and then we'll continue with the coloring of graph. So I will start with this topic, I mean coloring of graph, after this basic introduction. So I would request you all of you to, I mean, be available to unmute and speak so that it will be more interactive. Okay, so any one of you tell me what is the definition of a graph? How will you define the graph? How do you define? So this lecture you may consider as a revision class. Okay, so from the next class we'll go onwards. Like I will continue with. So first lecture is like revision class. Yeah. So please everyone tell me. Anyone tell me what is a graph? You may tell in your own language. Like if you tell incorrect answer, no problem. Okay. But I appreciate those who answers.
Sir, it is a diagrammatic representation of nodes, vertices, and edges.
Yes, yes, yes. You are trying good. Yeah. Anyone else?
Sir, a graph is an ordered pair of set of vertices and edges.
Yes, correct. Okay, so I think next week you have quiz also. So in the quiz they will ask you the questions from chapter one, 2, 3. So this revision may help you in exam. Okay, in the quiz.
Quiz is over, sir.
Quiz is
Midsem is
over, sir.
Okay, midsem.
sir.
So
Midsem is from 16.
okay, midsem. I think in the midsem the syllabus is chapter one, 2, 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So in the midsem, this thing will help you because we are discussing very elementary thing. So this is from chapter one, I think. Okay, so you tell, I mean, both of you tried good and I think correct. So, in the language of your reference book, like the book you follow, uh, is I think D.B. West, the book Introductory Graph Theory. So, in loose sense, you can say it is a collection of like vertex and edges. Okay, vertex set and edge set, like this. Or in the language of book, if you would like to write, so we can write it. So like a graph. So just as a revision, so I would like to see If you have still doubt, you can ask. I know most of you know these things, but I will start. I will check if you remember things or not. So I will go ahead. Then I will have the idea about all people, how you all are doing. Okay, so if I write the definition, so a graph is a triple or triplet, you can say, consist of consist of a vertex set. So you denote it by V of G means vertex set of G, and edge set. So you denote it by E of G, and the relation that associates vertices, yeah, edges with vertices, like edges with vertices. So like they define like graph is a triplet. So what is triplet? First thing is vertex set, second is edge set, and third is the relation that associate edges and with vertices. Like if you join two vertices, you have an edge. So you know this. Okay, so like if I make a graph, so suppose one, two, three, and this. So if you join this, okay. So let me name it X, Y, Z, W. So how many vertices you see in this graph?
Four vertices.
Four vertices.
Yes, four vertices. And if you like to name it, so vertex set of G, we named it as X, Y, Z, W. Okay, how many edges you see?
Seven edges.
Okay, all of you.
Yes, yes, seven edges.
So like it has seven edges. So how you name it? Like if I would like to write edge set of G. So how do you write this?
E1, E2, E3, 4.
Okay, so you denote it by this. Yes, you can write it E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7 like this. Or you may write it like, okay, XW, XW again, or WX, okay, XY, then YZ, ZY, or YZ again you can write, then WY, or so which one is left?
WZ.
WZ, yeah, thank you. So this is the edge set, okay, or you can write it E1, E2, E3, E4 like this. That's also fine. Okay, so do you know loop? So what is the definition of a loop? So how do you
So
define
it
loop?
is a it
Hmm?
is an edge whose endpoint are same.
Yes, so endpoints are same vertex. So it is an edge whose endpoints are same. Endpoints are equal or same. Good. So like in the graph, I had no edge, right? So we may make it like, we may take it like this, okay? So this one will be an, so this one will be a loop, like a loop at suppose say vertex x. So we have a loop at vertex x. Yes, okay. So loop is an edge whose endpoints are equal. Okay. Then you also know multiple edges. So name itself says definition, right? So how do you define this? Or multiple edge?
edges with the same pair of endpoints.
Yes. So same pair of endpoint. Yes. So like to define edges having same pair of endpoint. Like we had multiple edges in this graph. So this one and this one. So between y and z we has two edges. Again between x and w we had two edges. So these are multiple edges. Okay, it may be more than two. So like you can make one more edge, no problem. Okay. Yeah. So how did you find simple graph?
A graph having no loops and multiple edges.
Okay. So a graph without any loop. Yes. Without any loop or multiple edges. Okay. So is this graph a simple graph? Can we say this graph is a simple graph?
No, sir.
So this is not simple. Okay. Is it simple graph?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
Is again
sir.
not simple, right? Due to multiple edge, and here it is not simple due to a loop. Okay. So simple you can make like this type of graph, right? This is simple.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this has five vertices, okay, and five edges, and no loops or no multiple edges. That's why it is simple. Okay. Then what comes adjacent vertices. So like in the graph, let's say multiply this now this. So tell me which one is the adjacent edge of W? Adjacent vertices. Okay. So tell me adjacent vertices of W.
Y.
U Y Z.
Yes. So if I define adjacent vertices, so first let me. Okay. So for example, like so W has two adjacent vertices. Only two, or is it more? I repeat. What are the adjacent vertices of W?
Sir, U, Z, Y.
Oh yes, yes. U Z Y. Fine. So U Z Y are adjacent vertices of W. Okay. So adjacent means they must be connected to the with an edge. So if you write the definition like adjacent vertices, है ना? Or we call it neighbors also. So if two vertices are end points of an edge. If two vertices are the endpoint of an edge, so we call two vertices are the endpoint of an edge. Then we call both vertices are, I mean, adjacent to each other. Then they are adjacent. They are adjacent, or you also say like they are neighbors. Okay. So like in this case, we written like W is we do not divide this. W is adjacent to Y. W is adjacent to Z. W is adjacent to U. Okay. You see and this graph. Right. So it has four vertices only, like x, y, z, w. Like x, you can define it by. Okay, so both having the, like if I ask you, tell me the adjacent edges of x in both the graphs. Adjacent vertices, sorry. Adjacent vertices of x. Will it be same or different? I mean, both graph you see same or both are different? Yes. So in the both graph you will get the same thing, right? Actually both graph are same. So x has adjacent vertices w, z, and y. Same here, y, w, and z. Okay. So do you know finite graph? Again, name itself suggesting the definition. How do you define this finite graph? You can guess, no problem. You can try to answer. If it is wrong, no problem. But you can guess, I think. According to name, you'd like to define. So you try to define like finite graph. So what can be the meaning of finite graph?
No multiple edges.
Okay, you tried well, but finite graph, actually the graph with the finite number of vertices and edges. So obviously in the course you will see only this type of things, but maybe infinite graph may exist. But here in the course you will only see the finite graphs. Means a graph with finite number of vertices and edges, or you can say vertex set, that is like you can say vertex set of g and edge set of g are finite set. Okay. So mostly you will see only this thing in this graph theory. Similarly, like there is a word null graph. So what do you know by this word? Can you define null graph? Again, you can guess the definition according to the name.
The graph having no vertices and edges.
Yeah, correct. So a graph without any vertex or without any edges. So without vertex and edge. So like you may not imagine such type of things. So this type of graph will not consider in this course. Okay. So like definition would be a graph without any vertex or edge. Okay. So that is empty set thing. Like there is empty null set is empty set. So vertex set is also empty set, and edge set is also empty set, or you can say null set, void set, null set, empty set are same things. So like this, but you will not have the cases like this in this course, so you will not consider graph such graphs. Okay, we'll consider graph with at least one vertex. Okay, then you know the complement graph, like complement set, you know. So on the basis of that you have complement graph. Yeah, so how do you define complement graph? No or not? Complement graph, I think you know already. You already gone through. Like complement set. So universal set minus the set. Na? So how do you find complement graph? Like, okay, you can simply make, suppose I give you one example. So x, y, z. And suppose this is the age between x, z. So what will be complement graph of this? Yes, so x, y and y, z. Okay, x, y and y, z. So how do you want to define this? This is a graph G and this is graph G complement. Okay. So in the complement, the thing is like if UV is an age in G, then UV will not be the age in G complement. Only that. Okay. So mainly would like to consider for the simple graph. So I would like the definition as the complement graph G complement of a simple graph G is a simple graph. So I mean, if G is the simple graph, so G complement will also be a simple graph. So the complement graph G complement of a simple graph G is a simple graph such that such that if UV belongs to vertex set of G, then, or you can say if and only if UV will not belong to vertex set of G complement, right? So if you say this, is sufficient for the definition. Okay. So if UV is an edge in the vertex set of, sorry, sorry, this is not vertex. We have to write it edge set. Okay. Yeah. So if UV is an edge in G, then UV will not be the edge in G complement. Okay. So UV will not be the edge in G complement. Fine, like here you can see xz. So you can see xz is the vertex in is an edge in G. Then here you can see xz is not the edge in G complement. Okay, so you know this. Fine. Okay, so if I give you 1 2 3 4 5, so suppose this. Yeah, so this is graph G. So X, Y, Z, W, and U. So X, Y, Z, W, and U. Now, what will be complement graph of this? G, I want to make graph G complement. Yeah, so what will be complement graph? So X will be joined to which one? Like XZ is not the edge in G. So
Sir, X to Z,
yes,
Z to U, and U to Y.
Z to U, U to Y. Okay. Only this. WY is not the age in G, so WY will be here, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is correct. So any more edges will come. Everyone please check. Okay. Okay. So graph G and graph G complement. Now you know the word already. You know the word because this all these basic things I'm revising because I will when I will continue the cutting graph. These all word will be used: complement, click, independent set, and all. And this, so that's why I'm revising just for your revision and so that you all will be familiar with it. So what is the definition of click? How do you define?
So it is a set of pairwise adjacent vertices in the graph.
Yes, yes, thank you. So it is a pair of uh, sorry, it is a set. Okay, it is a set of pairwise adjacent vertices of a graph. So call it G. Okay, so it is a set of pairwise adjacent vertices. Okay, so tell me click in case of graph G. Can you tell me? In case of graph G, बताओ भाई.
So X and W, X and U.
You have to consider all the vertices, they are adjacent to each other. So only XW you see?
So X, W, and U.
Yes, so here you can write XWU, this is click in G. Okay, so it is of size 3. Okay, and size 2 you can write like YZ, WZ. So in the set actually, any two you select, there will be A's between these two vertices. So X, W, U are pairwise adjacent to each other. Okay, so can you tell me the click in case of G complement? So like pairwise independent, sorry, pairwise adjacent vertices in case of G complement.
UXW.
U, X, W. But are they adjacent to each other? So do you see any age between U and X? So adjacent means there must be an age. Okay. So adjacent means there must be UX are adjacent because there is an age between U and X. XW are adjacent because there is an age between X and W. UW are adjacent because there is an age between U and W. So you have to in click we have to take the vertices that are joined with an age. So size 3 click will not exist in case of G complement because you will not find 3 set that are adjacent to each other. 2 you can write like XZ, you can write only XZ only, then YW or YU, right? So in case of G complement you like to write, so like let me write one. So XZ only, XZU you cannot write because XU are not joined with an age. So XZ only 2, so like you can write XZ. This is a click in G complement. Okay. So let's come to the now independent set. So you already also know independent set or stable set. Independent set or stable set. Yeah. So how did you find this?
Sir,
Yes.
pairwise non-adjacent set, sir.
Yes. So it is a set of pairwise non-adjacent vertices. So you will take the set in which each other will be non-adjacent to each other, and every vertex will be non-adjacent to each other pairwise. Okay, so independent set is set of pairwise. It is a set. Like click is also a set. Independent set is also a set. So later on we'll see that the cardinality of independent set is independent number. Cardinality of click set is click number, right? So we'll see later on. First, you tell me independent set in case of graph G means non-adjacent vertices you have to see and you make a set.
So X, Z, and U.
X, Z, U. But X, U you cannot take together. X, U are adjacent to each other. We have to only take non-adjacent.
So X and Z only.
Only xz you can write, fine. So like xz only, this is an independent set of graph G. Okay, again in case of G complement. So tell me the independent set in case of G complement.
XU.
XU is correct. So you can increase. I mean XU is fine, but you have to see
So XUW.
XUW. Yes. So XUW in any one of them is not connected to any other. I mean XUW are mutually non-adjacent vertices or pairwise non-adjacent vertices. So XUW, if you take a set containing XUW, so in that set, any vertex is non-adjacent to each other. So I mean, so XUW, this is an independent set in G complement. Okay, so now you can relate this. So see the clique and independent set together now. So what do you see? Especially example you see. So the clique in case of G is the independent set in case of G complement, and clique in case of G complement is independent set in case of G. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So this example you can see here, and this you can see here. So XWU is clique in case of G, and XUW is independent set in case of G complement. And again, you can see the below this and this. So what I like to say, so you can write the result. Same thing. So clique in G is an independent set in G complement and vice versa. So you can write opposite. So independent set in G is clique in G complement like this. Okay. Now let me write one question. So the question is every five vertex graph or any graph of five vertex has a clique of size 3 or an independent set of size 3. So the question is yes or no. You have two options, true, false, yes or no. So if it is true, then you have to check for the all the cases. I mean, you have to prove it. And if it is false, then you have to just give one example.
So false.
False. Yes. So do you have an example?
Yes, sir. Complete graph K5.
K5 complete or just this cycle? Uh, X, Y, Z, W, U. So you are talking about C5, right? Is it C5 now? So do you want to join this? I mean, you want to join or
Yes,
only
sir.
this?
Complete graph.
I mean,
So all
okay.
vertices are adjacent.
Okay, so you want to join everyone which is there. Okay. So 1 minute. So you're talking about K5. Anything left?
No, sir.
Okay, so tell me, Question was every 5 vertex graph has a click of size 3 or, okay, or you understand the word or, either click or independent set exist. So tell me, if I say you x, y, okay, so in this case, you see click set will be of size what?
Size 5.
Yes. Okay. So any other will not exist, right? This is also correct. So this is a click of size 5. Yes, that is also fine. Or you can simply make this one. That would also fine. Be fine. This C4, C5. So do you see any click of size 3 here? No, right? You will not have any click of size 3. Like you will not get any three vertices joined to each other.
Yes, sir.
And do you see any independent set of size 3 here?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
right. So that's why this example is also fine. And here you have click of size 5 and but can you not write like x, y, z? This is a click here.
Yes, sir.
Can write now. X, y, z is a click obviously. You can take
Yes,
subset.
sir.
So this is a click. This is okay. Size 5 is fine, but I can write this one also. So this example will make problem and okay. So I can write this like I can write of
क्वेश्चन
size.
में मैक्सिमम 3 था.
Hmm.
तो क्वेश्चन आपने मैक्सिमम 3 लिखा था.
Okay. Say every 5 vertex graph has a click of size 3 or independent set of size 3. Okay, if I write maximum, then that is will be okay. But just size 3 is written here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that will make problem. So this example is fine. This has so this graph has no click of size 3. Yeah, neither like right neither it has click of size 3 nor this has neither click of size 3 nor independent set of size 3. Because independent set you cannot take of 3 size. Yes. So this is one example, okay, and this will not work. So this example will not be considered correct. But okay, if you tried, good thing. I appreciate you. But for the maximum, if I write the word maximum, then it is correct example. Yes. Okay. So same question if I write, and suppose I in place of 5 I write 6, then like I write the same question. Okay. So in place of 5, if I do 6, in place of 5 you make 6 and you tell whether it is It will be correct or incorrect. So make it 6. Now the statement is true or false.
True, sir.
True. So any graph you will make of 6 vertex will have always either click of size 3 or independent set of size 3. So you can try, yes. So like simple, you can make like this, or you make any graph. Okay, you join anyone. You can take complete like this. So here you see that, like tell me any click set of size 3. Can you find here? Yes or no? Click set of size 3. Okay, tell me independent set of size 3. Are you getting the question? So in the graph, this C6, do you see any click set? I mean click of size 3.
No, sir.
Okay, no. So you can tell me the independent set of size 3.
X, U, and Z.
X, U, and Z. Correct. So this is one. Other you can also write like Y, W, and V. Yes.
W and V.
Yes. So these are independent set of size 3. Or you make any graph, like, so if I make this, so suppose we join it. So again you can see. Okay, so tell me, do you have any independent set of size 3? Again, same you can do X, Z, U, and W, Y.
Exact. Yes, sir.
Same. If I change it to like suppose here, so then in this graph, you will have a click of size 3. That will be X, W, V, right? This is a click of size 3. So yes, you make any graph with 6 vertex, you will get either a click of size 3 or independent set of size 3. So here it will be true. And so this word was 6 vertex, and here it was false. Okay, so this is 2 hour class, right, today?
Yes.
So do you get any break, or you take, I mean, continuously 2 hours? I mean, you get any break? Is it not the first time this 2 hour class? So every week you might be getting 2 hour class.
Yes, sir. 5 minutes
Yes.
break.
Okay. So tell me, what is the bipartite graph? Because this word will come again in coloring of graph. So how do you find this word?
So graph is bipartite if vertex set can be partitioned into two subsets.
Yes, correct. A graph is bipartite if vertex set can be partitioned into two set. So to any set or something a special word comes.
Sir, such that every edge of the graph joins you opposite vertex.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir. The vertex of each set should not be adjacent to each other.
we call it independent set, right? So in a set,
Yes,
if you see any vertex is non-adjacent to each other, that is called independent set. So you can
yes,
say
sir.
a graph is bipartite if you can partition into two independent set, or you can say that is, so vertex set can be written as union of two disjoint disjoint independent set. So in a graph, if vertex set can be written as a union of two disjoint independent set, then we call it bipartite. For example, so look this example: x, y, z, w, u, v. Okay, is it bipartite? So vertex set, if I write, it
Yes,
is
sir.
x, y, z, u, v, w. So you can see, okay, x, z, and u. X, Z, U. These are non-adjacent vertices, I mean independent set. Union, you can take Y, W, and V.
V.
Y, W, and V. And these two sets are disjoint. Disjoint means they do not have any common element. So nothing common, and you take the union. So partition means you take the union, you will be vertex set. So both are independent. This is independent set, and this is also independent set, and both are disjoint, so this is bipartite graph. Okay, similarly you can define k partite graph, right? So you can extend the definition, like it was bipartite. Bi means the two partite graph. This is k partite graph. K can be any number like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how you define this? Similar way you can define. Okay, you can look the definition here. Read this
Yes,
definition.
sir. Vertex set can be partitioned into case independent subset.
Yes, so you can write, if a vertex set of G can be written as union of k independent sets. Okay, yeah, partitioned into k independent sets. Okay, so we'll discuss this thing. Like you can write it by, this is bipartite. Uh, what can you write? These two are non-adjacent. So is it bipartite or is it three-partite? Okay, let's name it x, y, z, w, u. So vertex set of G is x, y, z, w, u. Okay, so tell me, you want to write as the union of independent set. So how many independent set you have now for this question? So that you can write the union of that is vertex set.
Three independent set.
So you can write like x, z is one. Other you can write y, w, and third you can write u. So this is three-partite graph, right? Because you can write it as the vertex set as the union of three independent sets. Okay. So there is a relation between k-partite graph and chromatic number. So I think you know this already. So tell me, what is chromatic number? How do you define this chromatic number? No one knows. It is not possible, I think. You all know this.
So the least number of colors used to color the graph.
Yes. Such that there is a condition. Any two endpoint of an edge will have the different color. So endpoints of the vertex will have the different color, right? Suppose I want to color these vertices. Suppose I take this color. So in Y I cannot take the same colors. I have to take some different color. Okay. So suppose I take this color. So next, you have to make sure the adjacent
Adjacent
vertices.
color are not same.
Yes, adjacent color are not same. Adjacent vertices have different color. You have to make sure. So what is the minimum number of color required? That is the chromatic number. The minimum number of color required to label the vertices of a graph such that adjacent vertices will have different colors. So like I name this. So I can take this as the this color again, no problem. Okay, and here I can take the red again. I mean the color I used, this one. So I can use the same color here. Is the same color, this one, and then what do you see? Which can we take the sorry two used color here at the vertex U. So which color you can take at the third color, or can use any one of the two color used already?
No, sir, third color.
You have to use the third color here. So chromatic number for this graph will be 3, and you know it is a 3-partite. So you will have a relation. So definition, if I write chromatic number, so it is the minimum number of color required to level minimum color required to level the vertices of a graph such that adjacent vertices receive different color. Okay, so this is the definition. So the minimum number of color required to level the vertices such that adjacent vertices receive different color. So you can notice few things. The vertices given the same color must form an independent set. So you can see here, like this red color you can see. So this the vertices with the red color, the same color, will form independent set. So XZ will have the same color. You can see here. UW will have the same color, and here I have written sorry YW. This was YW, and the union. This is U vertex. Let me write it here. Okay, and this U is alone. So every independent set you write, then each vertex will have the same color in the independent set because they are non-adjacent. Non-adjacent, okay, may have the same color. So what is the remark? So the remark is vertices given same color. Okay, vertices given same color must form an independent set. Okay. Okay, chromatic number is denoted by the notation is chi of G, right? So the notation for this is chi of G. So, so in short, you can write chi of G is the minimum number of color required, okay, or minimum number of independent set, you can say. Because each independent set you can color with the same, you can label with the same color. Okay, so now you can write it like needed to partition vertex set. Okay, so this is one. This was a one example. This was C5. So vertex set was partitioned to three independent set. You can see you need at least three color. I mean exactly three colors to label this. Okay, so one remark I would like. Then I will give you 5 minute break and then we'll continue. So a graph is k-partite if and only if k-partite means vertex set can be written as a union of k independent set. If and only if its chromatic number is at most k. Okay, at most k means less than equal to k. So k-partite graph, that is for k-partite graph the chromatic number will be less than equal to k. This is the result. So at most it can be k, but maybe less than equal to k for the k-partite graph. Okay. For example, you see this one, uh, this graph. If you see, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices are there. So how many color is required to label these vertices? Yes. How many colors required? Minimum actually. So vertex set of G, that is A, B, C, D, E, F. You can write it as union of, yes, it is by,
C E.
hmm. Okay, let me color it. Suppose I color A with this color. So which vertices can be colored with the same this color?
C E.
C only.
C and E you can, yes. Now B, suppose I color with other. So let me take this color. This one. Then D can be colored with this. So two color is required. Minimum two color. Now you can make other color also, but minimum two color will be required. Like you can write, like in this case I have used ACE one partition union, the other partition I used is BDF. But you can write it other way also, like vertex set can be written as, you can write AC one way, you can write AC union BF, or you can say BE union small. So AC, they are non-adjacent, BE and DF. Okay. So in this case, you are saying that vertex set is written as a union of three independent sets, isn't it? AC, they are non-adjacent, BE, non-adjacent, and DF. So vertex set is written here, union of three independent set means I wanted to convert a three partite graph. But that's why they said chromatic number will be less than equal to 3. So it may be like you see here the chromatic number of this graph is 2 because chromatic number is the minimum color required. So that's why we said this. You know already you can convert it to bipartite also. You can you can make it three partite also. Are you getting? So I was
Yes, sir.
justifying this. I was justifying just this statement. A graph is k-partite if it is the its chromatic number is at most k, so less than equal to k. So at most this. Okay, so we'll take 5 minute break when we continue. So be here. I mean, just mute yourself, and I will also mute. Then we'll continue in 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is 11:06, so we'll start at 11:10. Okay, so let us continue now. Okay, so let me make a graph. So graph is like this. So x, y, u, and z. Suppose. So tell me the chromatic number of this graph, or how many colors will be required to label the vertices. What is chromatic number of this graph?
Three.
Okay, three. So okay, let's try. So like, suppose I label this vertex by this red color, whatever the color is this, and then which, so you cannot label y because y is the adjacent vertex with the same color. You cannot take same color with u. You cannot take same color on z. So you cannot use this color again because y, u, z all are adjacent vertices of x. Okay, so let me color y with this color. So now, can you color u with this color? No, because so, but you can color z with the same color, right? Yes or no? Y and z are non-adjacent, so you can take the same color. And on the u, you need some other color, right? Suppose this, or simply you can write 1, 2, 3. There is no problem. You can add one here, second color, second color. Like you can say, okay, first color, second color, third color. So you require three colors. So minimum three color will be required, right? So chromatic number is three. You can try to convert into like k-partite. It is bipartite. Can you say this graph is bipartite? Yes or no? So for bipartite, you need to break the vertex set into the union of two independent sets. Yes. Can you write? So the first question is it bipartite? Question is this. Is G graph G?
It is tripartite.
Okay, yes. So bipartite, so answer is no, right? So answer is no. Because you cannot write the union of two sets and both are independent and disjoint. So you need three sets. Like you can take x alone because x is alone because there is no other vertices independent of x. So I mean non-adjoint to x. So x union, you can take z and y. Okay, z and y. This was y. So y and z are non-adjacent vertices, or you can say zy set is independent set. Union u you have to take alone. Okay, so this is this graph is tripartite. Right? G is three-partite. You can say. So you know chromatic number will be less than equal to 3. So you get it 3 here. Okay, but there are many other results. So we'll see that. Okay. So let me discuss now. So this was a basic thing. Okay. Just written now. Let us continue with the coloring of graph. So this chapter. So I will again start with this chapter. So today I would like to discuss scheduling and graph coloring. So you might have gone through this topic, okay, already. And then I would also like to discuss here chromatic number. So we were discussing earlier chromatic number of a graph. So we have discussed here, but we can discuss. And K coloring of a graph and K colorable graph. Okay. So the outline is, if I write the outline, like would like to discuss coloring of graph, its enumeration, and its application. So there is important example based on coloring of graph. So what is the application? Okay, so one application is like committee scheduling problem. So committee scheduling problem. So you know this, what happens in this example or in this problem? Like you have different committees and you have to schedule time for them. So you will check, okay, if there is a common member between two committee. If there is a common member between two committee, you cannot put the same slot for them. You have to make the different slots. So if we will make graph, suppose committees are the vertices, so the committees with common member will be adjacent vertices. So you might have seen this, okay, but since we are continuing, so I said already, this is revision for those who have done. I think all of you have done. So let me write the problem. So what we do in problem, in this type of problem, actually, like, suppose, let me write, suppose we want to schedule a senate committee meeting. Okay. Into designated weekly time period. Weekly time period. So we cannot assign two committees to the same to the same time slots. Okay. So we cannot assign two committees to the same time slot if they have a common member. If they have a common member. So how many different time periods do we need? Right? How many different time period or different time slots, different time period or time slots do we need? So this type of problem will be solved using the coloring of graph. Okay. Or you have, suppose exams, you have 6 subjects and few students are common in two, like this, then in that situation how we schedule the exam schedule? So this problem will be solved. So how we will approach the problem? So the method will be, we create, okay, so we create a vertex for each committee with two vertices adjacent to each other, or we can say, so we create a vertex for each committee with two vertices adjacent when they have a common member. They have a common member. So if two committees have the common member, so these two committee will be adjacent to each other in the graph. So we must assign labels or colors, you can say, colors or slots. Okay, so we must assign labels or colors or slots so that or time period, you can say, to the vertices. So you will label that vertices, okay, or you will give the color or time period to the vertices so that the the end points of each edge receive different color, different color. Okay, so you have to, if two committees have the same member, you will make that vertices adjacent to each other, and you will label it or you will color it in such a way that endpoints of the adjacent vertices, endpoints of the each edge will receive different color, or adjacent vertices will receive different color or different labels, you can say, different color or different labels, different labels. So this enables us to find the number of required time periods or time slots. Okay, so like one question I would like to write based on this. So okay, so coloring will, this type of problem will be solved using coloring of graph, and like more problems we can have, like exam timetable problem and lecture schedule. So we write one question, and that question you might have seen already. So I would expect you to answer, all of you. So the question is like, the math department of a university. Okay, so math department of a university want to schedule, okay, want to schedule exams for following subjects. So subjects are graph theory, है ना? So in short you can write it GT. Then statistics, so you name it small s. So linear algebra. So LA, advanced calculus, and geometry. Let me see. So how many subjects we have? One, two, three, four, five. Okay, one more. And you say modern algebra. So MA. So we have six different subjects: graph theory, statistics, linear algebra, advanced calculus, geometry, and modern algebra. So exams of six these subjects we have to schedule. We have to make a schedule. So it is like okay, schedule in 6 different days. So that may take more time. So but we want to know the minimum days required. Okay, we want to schedule in a minimum time. So that is the importance of this concept actually. So we want to schedule in a minimum time. So the next is these are the subjects, and the suppose there are 10 students. We can have more, but this question has. So there are 10 students in the department. Okay, which have following subjects. So following subjects. Let's say like there are 10 students. You can name it 1, 2, 3, 10, or you can say like A, B, C, D, and E. These are five. Next five is F, G, H, I, J. Okay, these are 10 students. So student A has linear algebra and statistics. Student B has modern algebra, linear algebra, and geometry. Student C has modern algebra, geometry, and linear algebra. Student D has geometry, linear algebra, and advanced calculus. Student E has advanced calculus, linear algebra, and statistics. Student F has geometry and advanced calculus. Student G has graph theory, modern algebra, and linear algebra. H has linear algebra, graph theory, and statistics. I student has advanced calculus, statistics, linear algebra, and J has graph theory and statistics. Now you have these five subjects, six subjects, and you have 10 students. You want to conduct, make a exam schedule for them. So how many different slots will be required? Minimum number of slots will be required to conduct this exam, so that no two exam classes for the common student. Because if you schedule two subjects at the same time, and if they have a common student, then they cannot appear in both exams. So how will you schedule? Yes. So anyone tell me. So the question is determine the minimum number of time periods. So if you schedule daily, then how many minimum days can we make for them? Or if we conduct an exam like one day, suppose, so how many slots we need minimum required to conduct this exam? Okay, so you got the question, and you are already familiar with this question, I think. So any one of you tell me how to approach this question. Yes, how will you approach this question? You have six different subjects, 10 students, and every student has different subjects. We want to conduct exam for them. So how many different slots will be required to conduct this exam? and such that two slots will be obviously different if they have common student. Yeah, so start.
So we have to find chromatic number.
Yes, so first we need to make the graph, right? So that we can see the distribution of subject and students. So how to find the chromatic number? Yes, we need to find the chromatic number, fine.
That part we have to make a graph.
Yes, okay. So let's take each subject as one age, right? So we have six subjects. So one, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, these are six vertices I take as six different subjects. So let's name it, right? Graph theory, statistics, linear algebra, advanced calculus, geometry, modern algebra. Okay, so these are six different subjects. We want to make the schedule for six subjects. So the subject with the common student will have the will be adjacent to each other. You know, we have to make an age between those subjects which have common student. So for C, a student A has linear algebra and statistics. So A student is common between two subjects, linear algebra and statistics. So you make one age between linear algebra and statistics, right? Because you cannot schedule both subjects at the same time because A student is common in both subjects. Now for B, it has three subjects: modern algebra, linear algebra, and geometry. So modern algebra, linear algebra. So you join it, and geometry. So join it because you cannot schedule these subjects at the same slot. So you make the age. C has modern algebra, geometry, same subject. D has geometry, linear algebra, advanced calculus. Geometry, linear algebra, advanced calculus. Geometry, advanced calculus, linear algebra. Yes. And E has advanced calculus, linear algebra, statistics. So statistics, advanced calculus, and linear algebra. Okay, they are already joined. Now F has geometry and advanced calculus. Geometry and advanced calculus. So this is joined already. G has graph theory, modern algebra, linear algebra. Graph theory, modern algebra, and linear algebra. ठीक है? And H has linear algebra, graph theory, statistics. Linear algebra, graph theory, and statistics. You have to join it. Now I has advanced calculus, statistics, linear algebra. Statistics and linear algebra. Okay, and J has graph theory and statistics. Yeah, so that is the graph, correct? Any doubt in this? Any one of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is correct.
No, sir.
So I have done some mistake.
No, sir.
Okay, I mean, what do you want to say? This graph is fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what I need to calculate, question is what is chromatic number of this graph, because we constructed a graph having each vertex is the subjects and two vertex are adjacent if they have common student. So now
Yes, sir.
tell me how to find chromatic number. So how we can color it? So how many different slots I can make? So actually vertex set we have to partition into the set. So how many minimum partition you can do? So coloring of vertices you can see here. So okay, let me make the first slot. So in the first slot, which subject you want to conduct? So those who are not adjacent, right? If they are not adjacent means they have no common student. two vertices are adjacent if they have common student. So you try to collect the non-adjacent vertices. Yeah, so which two you want to make?
The graphics theory and geometry.
Okay, graph theory and geometry you want to make? Fine. So graph theory and geometry I take in first slot. Okay, in second slot, what do you want to make? So let me call it, this is one color. Let me color it with one. So this is one color, this is other color, like this. Or you can write it one. So one means we made the in the first slot. Yes. Second slot,
So statistics and MA math algorithm.
statistic, this and modern algebra. Okay. So this, so second slot, statistics and modern algebra. Yes. So you make it second slot. Okay. So we made second slot for it. Yeah. Third, third slot.
The LA linear algorithm.
So you have left two subjects, linear algebra, advanced calculus. So both are actually adjacent. So you cannot make into one slot. So you have to make into different slots. So you can make
Two
like
slots.
linear algebra and you have to put different slots because they have common students. So advanced calculus like this. You may write in different way, no problem. It does not matter what subject in what slot. Matter is how many slots you can make minimum. Minimum how many slots would be required. So these six subject exams can be conducted in four slots. Like we count the days, then in 4 days we can complete that. In one day we can put this subject, next day we can put this subject, and then like this. Or if you hours you count, so in first one slot we put this, second hour we put this, third hour we put this. So then there will be no classing for any student who have common subject. Okay, so this
Yes,
was,
sir.
so chromatic number of this graph you get is 4. 4 different color will be required to label this. Okay, similar type of one more problem you might have seen, the chemical problem, right? Have you seen that? So you want to, yes or no? You have different chemicals now.
Yes, sir.
So you have done this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me, no problem. So continue this example or this question. So the question is 8 chemicals are to be shipped across country, okay, by air express. The cost of doing this, so the cost of doing this depends on the number of containers shipped. So the cost of shipping one container is let's say rupees 125, or you can make it easy, right? So let's make it rupees 100. Okay, For each additional container, the cost increases by rupees 50. That's all. Okay. So first container will take 100 and then each container will be additional cost is 50. So some chemical interact with each other. So interact with each other, hence cannot be shipped together. Cannot be shipped together. So you have to put into the different container. Okay. So you cannot put in the same container. So cannot be shipped together. The chemicals are labeled with like C1 first chemical, C2, C3 and up to C8. Okay, there are 8 chemicals. And chemicals which interact with each other are follows. They are following. Okay. So like C1 chemical interact with C2, C5, C6. Okay. And C2 chemical interact with C1, C3, C5, C7. C3 chemical interact with C2, C4, C7, and C4 chemical interact with C3, C6, C7, C8. Okay, 3, 6, 7, 8. C5 chemical interact with C1, C2, C6, C7, C8, and C6 chemical interact with C1, C4, C5, C8, and the seventh chemical C2, C3, C4, C5, C8, and the last eighth chemical interact with C4, C5, C6, C7. Okay. So now you have 8 different chemicals. So question will be in this way they interact with each other means they cannot be kept together. Like C1 cannot be kept with C2, C5, C6. C2 cannot be kept with C1, C3, C5, C7, and so on. C8 cannot be kept with C4, C5, C6, C7. So the main question is now, how should the chemicals be packed? How should chemicals be packed into containers? So they want to know how many containers will be required, minimum number of containers required, and what is the minimum cost? What is the minimum cost of shipping? Okay, question is clear. There are 8 chemicals and they interact with each other. That's why they cannot be shipped together. So means like this: C1, C2, C5, C6 cannot be kept together. So you have to put the different containers. So in the graph theory sense, you have to make the age. So suppose I say there are 8 vertices, right? So one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's call these are 8 vertices of a graph, and each vertex represent one chemical. So you name it like this is C1, C2, make it C3, C4, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C8. Okay. Now C1 cannot be kept with C2, C5, C6. So what do you do? Anyone tell me how to proceed now? We make 6 vertices of different chemicals. So we want to find the number of different containers to put into these chemicals. So how to approach this question now? How can you proceed after this? Tell me.
Same method. Find chromatic number using graph.
So how will you do? So C1 will have an edge with C2 according to this. C1 will have edge with C2. C1 will have edge with C5, C6, like this. Again, C2 will have C1, C3, C5, C7. So C1, C3, C5, and C7. With C7. Okay. And then C3 graph has C2, C4, C7. So C2, C4, and C7. Like this. Then C4, 3, 6, 7, 8. 3, 6, 7, and then 8. Okay. 5, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 6, 7, and then you will make it 8. Then C6, 1, 4, 5, 8. 1, 4, 5, 8. This. And then C7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is joined with 8. All are already joined. And then for the C8, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're joined. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah. So this is a graph. Okay. Okay. So tell me the chromatic number. So how will you decide? So you will make the independent sets, right? And you will try to make the minimum number of independent set to level this. So in the first container, what would you like to put? Which two chemical? Obviously they are non-adjacent, then they will not interact with each other. Those who are adjacent will interact with each other. So tell me which chemicals you want to put into first container.
C1 and C7.
C1 and C7, yes, that will work. So C1 and C7, yes. In second container, so let me name it like this: first and first. In first container, you put C1, C7, yes. In second container,
C4 and C5.
okay, C4, C5, fine. But C2, with C2, what one you will take? So I put C2 and C8. Can we make this? Because
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay,
C2 and C8.
no problem. Your answer is also correct. It does not matter which one you use. C4, C5 you take. That's also correct. Third container, so you have to make sure such that other two also mix in one container. So you take C3 and C6 to be better.
C3, C6.
So other then 4, 5 will also will one container. Otherwise, it will make problem. So fourth container, you take C4, C5. So in third, C3, C6. In fourth container, you make C4 and C5. So there are 8 chemicals, and you want to put into containers. So you need at least 4 containers. So chi of G, you get 4 here. So chromatic number is 4. So in this way, you can do. So what will be cost? So according to this data, I have taken for the first, you will take 100 rupees. I mean the cost is 100 rupees, and for additional it is 50. So how much we need the cost?
So 250.
100 for one, and for rest 3 you need 50. Okay,
Take
so
250.
yes, 100 plus 150, so that is 250. So 250 is the total cost required. Okay, like you can think of, okay, there were 8 chemicals, you could put into 8 different containers, but that will cost more. So we want to make the cost less. So for that, this application is required to make it less. So you can make less number of containers, and cost you can minimize. So that's why this is important, because this has a lot of applications. Okay, so 4 shipment can be done. 4 containers is required. Okay, so we discussed 2 examples based on it. Then actually we can continue in the next class now. So K coloring of graph. So how we define K coloring? So in the next class, I think we start with K coloring. How we define K coloring, and then K colorable graph. Okay, vertex coloring upper bound. So I will start in next class this vertex coloring upper bound. Okay, so from the next class I will continue this. I think today we should stop here, and we'll continue next class. So any question anyone would like to ask? So this lecture I think might be a revision for you, because you might have already gone through all these topics. So it's good you have revised it, and then in the exam this will help you. And I will continue from here in on next classes and onwards. Okay. So any question to
Yes,
me,
sir.
to anyone? It was nice meeting you all, and it's I loved actually those who replied, because the student, then otherwise there is no way of one way talking. If you answers and if you ask question, that makes class interactive. So thank you everyone, and we'll meet in the next class. Then we'll continue from here where we stopped today. So you keep revising, you will study at your home, and take care of yourself. Okay, thank you and bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.